Here is one question. I'm giving a feedback on the answer rating. Explain the role of the family, society, and uh, education institutions. Education institutions in incurring the value system. So that is the topic or the question I'm dealing with. It says the introduction. Mahatma Gandhi said values are not thought, they are caught. Values are a fundamental belief that guides behavior in decision making. Okay, this is okay, right? Instead you can also say that, or one can say, like, what are values? Like, values are foundation principles. Values can be good or bad, like it depends like what values we pursue. Like, we can speak something basic about values. Coming to the next part here, the candidate has uh, put candidate has given role of the family, role of the society, and role of the education institutions. I'm just checking, and I have already read once. The family being the first social unit of a child lays the foundation values. Yeah, this is okay. Then he's saying, like, okay, what the role of the family? Okay, so the role of the family, he is saying, like, okay, parental influence and observational uh, observation learning and role modeling. So these are 3 points. But if we just say parental influence, celebrating festivals like Diwali or Eid teach cultural tolerance and family members. Yeah. So what is the role of the family is given here. The role of the family is, okay, teaching cultural tolerance. So this is the first. Instead of saying parental influence, he should have said, like, okay, cultural influence as the first point. So if he says cultural influence as, like, that is a role, parental influence is the not role. So parents, like, that is how it is happening. But what exactly is happening is the like, okay, teaching cultural, what exactly role is that? Teaching cultural tolerance is the role of the family. Here it is said observation learning. Ex family, for example, families uh, planting trees on environmental day. Like, okay, so they also okay, here what is the role of the family? So the role of the family is, like, not just limited to teaching, like action oriented, right? So they also, like, help, basically one or two unconnected, but yeah, for the purpose of pointing, this is okay. And then role modeling during COVID-19, parents help neighbors. Yeah, so, like, okay, these are similar points basically. The family is like teaching, right? These are basically examples. Like, these are not exactly points, but these are very examples of, like, families, like, demonstrating, like, what is good, what is bad, etc., right? Yeah, this is okay. But yeah, points can be, like, phrased better. Yeah, so then how families, like, they teach, and then families, like, okay, they do act, right? So there are some teachings involved, and there are actions that are involved. And then the families also, like the interactions between families and one family to other families, like the sense of friendship, sense of togetherness, right? So the way family behaves with another family, like, so all those things are the roles and responsibility of the family. For example, it could be kinship or sense of bonding, etc. Okay, when it comes to society, society provides a broader platform for individual influence. That's okay. Then cultural norms, participation in community cleanup drives during Swachh Bharat Abhiyan promotes cleanliness and responsibility. Yeah, so culture norm should not be the point. So the point should be, like, okay, the promotion of sense of responsibility. So that's the role of society. And for example, like, okay, so see, the role of society is establishing culture norms, but the question is about inculcating values, like what the society is doing for inculcating values. Like, we have to see that from that perspective, right? So what society is doing for inculcation of the values, it is bringing a sense of, or promoting a sense of responsibility. That's one thing the society is doing. Okay. uh, so then I'm just checking next page. So then, collective experiences, attending public events like Independence Day, and fosters patriotism. Yeah, so we have spoken about, like, societies. Okay, so they inculcate values, establish norms, etc. Yeah, so collective experiences. Okay, if I say collect, if the candidate says, like, collective experiences, So like, so what exactly society is doing to inculcate values? So that is the question. Like, so there is a collective experience in the society, but what exactly the society is doing? Society is like basically bringing together people, right? So society brings together people. So like people, so I'm just taking clue from this example. Society that brings together people, and then they builds a sense of unity, right? That's why like people across the culture, they come and attend the independence event, right? Yeah. So then reinforcement of shared values. Companies like fridays for future Fridays for Future teach youth the importance of the environment activities. I couldn't read it properly. Yeah, so reinforce of the shared values. Yeah, this is fine. But okay, society does much more value than this. So what I want to add is, right, add some of the points like the role of the society in inculcating values. Like, okay, so when we say society, one society, like what do we have in society? Like within society we have like various caste, various class, right? Various cultures are there. So one society or one culture should guide the other culture. Like for example, if there is something in the good Buddhism, like we should be able to take it. If there is something in the Islam, like Hinduism, should be able to adopt it, right? So like society, one society should guide the other society. So that's also another model, like role modeling. Societies do establish the norms, but like what kind of the norms we should establish? For example, there can be bad societies as well, right? So like, yeah, so in that context, and also the society role of inculcating values, the societies do spread cultures, and then societies can come up with new value also, right? For example, take a society or take the culture of the LGBT, right? So as we move on, uh, like what happens, the new value system do arise. So society should able to adapt and then accept, right? So that's also the role of the society in inculcating the values, correct? Yeah. So like society should be open, society should not be closed for exchanges. And then yeah, so like since it looks like what just society is doing, but it's very open ended, like we can do, or we can write many more points on the society. Okay. Then role of education institutions, yeah, and then something like this, right? So education institutions are systematically blah blah blah. So this is not required, like one can directly come to the point. Value integration is fine, school celebrate, yeah. But I would say like take better examples. No plastic day, like environmental day, that's fine, but you can take better examples. Yeah, then classroom teaching, like okay, what exactly classroom teaching is happening? Like take some of the issues of like say like what exactly happening. So instead of saying like awakening institution classroom teaching, like what is doing is basically awakening, right? Awakening the students, correct? Co-curriculum activities, like very poor point. Yeah, instead like the classroom, like you can actually bring Tagore, right? What should be the actual classroom? Like how should be the classroom basically builds integrity, right? So equality, sense of equality, togetherness, fraternity, upward like debate, value exchange, what is right, what is wrong, like so many things happens in the classroom. So I would say like okay, much better points can be written, but yeah, this is good to go, but yeah, can be enhanced. And then considering the conclusion, the family, society, education institutions are the cornerstones of value formation, each complementing. Yeah, this is okay, but a better thing can be said, right? So yeah, thank you.